would I have done to deserve that?
I don't know, Shari. I mean, you're up in Sacramento. I mean, right now it's illegal to walk around. Oh, it's Yolo County. You can get it.
I just have to wear a mask if I'm
in. Welcome, everyone. We are going live here with the with our NAIFA-California Impact Hour. I know that we've got a couple of people on already. Just giving it another minute or so, and we'll get things kicked off for you. Okay, well, fantastic. So Jennifer, if you want to start things off for us.
Welcome you to the, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome everyone. I want to welcome you to the NAIFA-California's Impact Hour. I hope all of you and your families are doing well and adjusting to working, cooking free meals, and possibly homeschooling your children. I am Jennifer Williams, your NAIFA-California president. And I know these times are unique and we're all adjusting to the new normal. That's why we decided to come together today, is because we weren't able to hold our Day on the Hill or our road show that we had planned. We were looking so forward to that. And that's why we're coming together today. NAIFA is still here working for you. Your board's working for you. We're working for our members and for your clients. We have an amazing lineup of some of NAIFA's leaders with us today. NAIFA's new tagline of "Together we can take on anything" is so fitting during the COVID-19 pandemic. As you will hear from all of our contributors today, we can, in fact, take on anything. We come together as a NAIFA nation. So before we get started, I want to go over a few housekeeping items with you. Questions and comments are encouraged. All participants are in listen mode only. Please use your Q&A button at the bottom of the screen and type in your questions. We will try to address all of those questions throughout our time together. We'll be sending out some information on an information page after this call with links and other resources that are mentioned on this call for easy access in the future. So don't feel like you need to capture all of the information being presented. We will also be sharing a link to this recording in reference to in the future. With that, I'll turn it over to your NAIFA-California Executive Director, Emily Cabbage, to introduce our first speaker. Take it away, Emily.
Thanks, Jennifer. We have our Government Relations Vice President, Mark Bregman, to give us an update there.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Emily, for the introduction. So as everybody knows, this world is a changing place. We hope soon to see California and the rest of the nation open up. But why things are closed down, it's important for you to know as members that we're still working hard on government relations, whether it be PIC or PAC. But Shari McHugh, who's going to talk in a minute, is going to give you an update of what's going on legislatively and what she's working on at the state capitol. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I'm concerned about the future and why we need NAIFA so much and why we need you to reach out and encourage other members to join. As you all may know, you see trillions and trillions of dollars being bled out of our piggy bank back in Washington, D.C. The president is trying to help people keep their job, pay their bills, and all that money, as we know, is not free. Essentially, right now, the government is putting everybody on a credit card, and the interest rate for that kind of activity is very high, and the repercussions are something we're all going to be paying back soon. So I'm not encouraging you to not take advantage of the resources that are out there from the government, but I do want you to understand that when it comes time to start paying that back, our industry is one of the richest industries in this country, and those insurance policies that you've been providing to your clients have a thing called cash value that for many years as an association and a federation we have been fighting to protect. You've probably heard in California about Prop 13. They're going to try to start doing a property tax on commercial buildings. and rentals. I'm afraid that something like that is going to hit legislation to come back and say, hey, corporate owned insurance, hey, that doesn't need to be tax-free accumulation or tax-free death benefit. So I am very concerned that you're going to see the state or the federal government in the very near future look and say, this is a great form of wealth in our country. Let's take our piece of the pie and pay back this debt. So I think that it's very important for you as members to be thinking about the future. We need not only your membership dollar, but we need the membership numbers, which is actually the most important part. We need NAIFA to grow. We need our members to stay and to recruit. So I am putting out the request to all members. Ask somebody to join NAIFA. Tell them about what you think is going to be the future of how they're going to raise money from our products, from our clients, and we need to protect them. So please help, do your part. Emily? You're on mute.
Thank you. Yep. Thanks, Mark, for that update. We appreciate it. And now I'm going to turn it over to the California State Lobbyist, Shari McHugh, for some latest and greatest updates from what's happening at the state level.
Thanks, Emily. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning. These are unique times, to say the least. My job is much different at the moment. Working remotely is not usually what we do as lobbyists. We spend a tremendous amount of time in the Capitol, talking with people, walking the halls. So doing this via phone, via Zoom conference, and trying to be your advocate is, I wouldn't say it's challenging, it's just different. We're just trying to figure this all out. With that being said, we are still being very effective. The legislature is on recess right now, and the Assembly comes back on May 4th. And the Senate is coming back on May 11th. The way the committee hearings will take place will be very different for us. So we're doing everything we can behind the scenes now remotely to fix bad bills and to stop bad bills and to support good bills. We have been successful already in stopping a very troublesome suitability bill. It would have imposed long-term care suitability requirements on hybrid life insurance products. It was very troublesome. It was sponsored by the California Department of Insurance. We talked to the author's office. We explained how the troublesome this would be and how these products are innovative and different, how they're not long-term care, and then imposing those suitability standards on those products would make it more difficult for all of you to help people purchase these innovative new products. So the author's office and the Department of Insurance, before we even had a committee hearing, decided that they would not move the bill this year and that we will continue to work together to see if there are ways that we can address some of the department's concerns as it pertains to sales practices in that marketplace. So one off the list. We're also working with our life insurance carrier partners, with ACLI and with ACLIC, the Association of California Life and Health Insurance Companies, on a bill that is trying to modernize the statute as it pertains to HIV and life insurance policies and disability policies. We are not opposed to the idea of modernizing the statute. We just don't want to give HIV a higher status as it pertains to other issues that people may have, whether it be diabetes or whatever the case may be. We want it all on a level playing field. So we have drafted some amendments. We have shared those amendments with the author's office and with the Department of Insurance. And we are hopeful that those amendments will be accepted and we will be able to be neutral on the bill. Some people are even thinking about maybe possibly supporting the bill because the idea of modernizing the language is not something that is offensive to anybody, as long as the ailment is on the same level playing field with everybody else. So we're hopeful in that space. We're also keeping our eye out for anything in the health insurance space. With everything with COVID-19 out there, we are concerned about requirements, mandates, anything along those lines. So far, we've kind of avoided seeing bills of that nature, but bills are still being amended every day. So I go through the amendments every single morning, first thing, looking for some bad ideas that we need to stop. I'm also looking for good ideas because, as you all know, NAIFA-California really likes to be supportive as well. When we see good ideas, we chime in and we support bills as well. What is most important, I think Mark touched upon it, but I really want to emphasize this, especially with us kind of working remotely and not being able to be in the Capitol on a daily basis. It has never been more important for NAIFA-California to be strong and to be active and to make sure that we're benefiting from our relationships with our insurance agents and advisors in the district. If all of you or any of you have relationships with a legislator or two, please let us know, because we more than ever will need to turn to you to say, can you please reach out to Senator so-and-so or Assemblymember so-and-so, because those relationships will be so beneficial when we are not able to spend as much time in the Capitol. So the more members that we have, the stronger our voice can be, and the more opportunity we have to use those relationships. And I can't emphasize that enough. So with that, I'm again very happy to be here today and happy to answer any questions any of you may have. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Shari, for that update. Next up, we have NAIFA's Vice President of Government Relations, Diane Boyle, here to give us an update from the federal level.
Great, thanks, Emily, and thank you for having me today. It's always fun to jump on yet another Zoom call. I actually like seeing people, so I enjoy the Zoom calls more than most. Like Shari said, we're used to being on the Capitol. I call it lobbying from the living room now. It's what we're doing. We're still staying in touch. We're just not walking around the halls anymore. So it's really interesting. And what's fun is to see how the legislators are adapting as well. They're trying to figure this out too. Some of them are very tech savvy, others not so much. And so we have some conference calls, some Zoom meetings, some Skype meetings, but we are still staying in touch. They're trying to figure out how they can navigate these new waters, if you will, from a legislative standpoint. And let's not forget, and it's an election year, so election year politics play into it too. So we saw yesterday, the day before yesterday, Senate said they're coming back May 4th. House immediately responded and said, yep, us too. Then yesterday hit and the House went, wait a minute, not so fast, we're not coming back. So we're trying to figure out the scheduling. They're trying to figure out voting. They're trying to figure out how do you have hearings? How do you handle all of these things? Give you a little snapshot of what we've been working on, which isn't a surprise. It's what has everyone's attention is COVID-19. So in early April, we started with how do we put in place opportunities for our members and their clients to make sure that their businesses can stay in place. Is there an opportunity for retirement enhancements? So in the CARES Act, we actually were able to get some provisions, the Paycheck Protection Program, the Economic Injury, getting that wrong, Economic Disaster Injury Fund. Anyway, the EDIL loan program is also for small businesses. The funding for those programs unfortunately expired very quickly. The SBA issued more loans in 14 days than what they usually total in 14 years, just to give you an idea of that magnitude. And Mark, that goes back to your point of at some point we're going to have to pay the piper. We're not there yet. We're still in the immediate relief from the congressional standpoint of how do you address this virus. They haven't even gotten to recovery. So we're now looking at, okay, how do we sort of control the medical side of this emergency? How do you start ensuring that businesses don't go under? The next phase is going to be, how do you keep those employees there? Is that another extension of the PP program? Is it something else? What is the status? Have the businesses completely shut down? How do we recover economically from the pressure that's going to occur? So there's going to be additional expenditures. Once we get past that, and part of it is good news. I like Mark's point of, look, we're not discouraging anyone from taking advantage of it. As a matter of fact, we're out there advocating for, if you're going to provide relief, our industry needs to be a part of it. And we saw the ranking member of the House Ways and Means put out a press release this morning mentioning one of NAIFA members. So Michael Harris is a country financial advisor in Illinois, and he applied and received the PPP loan and was able to keep 3 employees that he would have had to terminate if he weren't able to get that funding relief. So it benefits our industry, it benefits our people. We want you to take advantage of it. And as a matter of fact, if you're interested in having it applied, do so now, because the second wave of funding is going to run out as well. The sooner you can get in there, the better. As we start looking, I mentioned going from relief to recovery efforts. And as they do that, there are 3 buckets of information, if you will, that NAIFA is looking to make sure that we have included. It includes health coverage provisions. It includes some retirement provisions, because as the market turns down, those who have planned for their retirements are going to take hits. So can we do some catch-up contributions? Can we raise the age limit for the required minimum distributions out of a plan? Things like that. The third bucket is there's some life insurance provisions, tax provisions that we want to make sure that the life insurance carriers are able to offer the products at reasonable cost to our clients. So those are sort of the things in the next wave that we're looking for. As Shari said, we're always looking for how are you going to hit us and how can we do good, right? So we're weighing those opportunities, and we have to do it in the environment that we're operating in now. So right now, everything is purely focused on COVID-19, either relief or recovery, and even recovery, we're still a few steps away from being there. But we're working and socializing those issues now so that when that opportunity presents itself, we're ready to go. Because Congress operates in a mode of hurry up and wait, and then all of a sudden we're going. So I know that we're going to hear from John and Trent, who are going to talk specifically about the ways that I like to refer to as the 3-legged stool. We have policy, so you've heard from Shari and I on what we do from the professional lobbying. You have our grassroots, which is you and your activities and how you can be involved. And then we have our political action committee, which are the PACs, which provides the funding to get the candidates that understand our issues into office. So with that, Emily, I'll turn it back over to you, and you can tee it off to the next one to continue our program.
Yeah, and actually, Diane, we did have a question that came up through the Q&A, and this comes from Monty Merkin. He says, Diane, how can we educate the usual suspects in government from taking advantage of this crisis to advocate for costly unrelated funding and further exacerbates our national debt? There should be penalties levied against them legally and personally for these abuses.
Oh gosh, that's a tough one. So I would use, as I mentioned, at some point, it's an election year, and sometimes education doesn't work. And so you need to use the election process to find new people that can be educated and have those people elected into office. But we play with whoever you send here. So if we have folks that need a little bit of education, we certainly sit down and spend time with them. And, you know, it's sharing what you do. When Mark talked about the pay-fors, that at some point we're going to look at our debt and deficit and decide that we need to do something about it, they're going to look at our industry. And if they don't understand what it is that our products do and why they have the tax treatment that they currently do, then it's nothing more than a dollar sign to them. And it makes it really easy for them to say, let's do away with that. And so it's incumbent upon us as an industry and as members to meet with our lawmakers, even those that we disagree with, and say, hey, this is why our products work. This is how I've seen a product that I've put in place for a client save the family. Say, you know, give real life, humanize the experience so that they understand it and why we're concerned about it. And so if we're spending money, you know, hand over fist, and that's concerning to you, then how do we show what the negative impact is and just walk it through and give examples? And the more personalized you can make the examples, the better, because then they'll remember a name. They'll remember someone, especially if it's a constituent that both of you know that you can demonstrate as the example that resonates. And then they kind of go, okay, well, wait a minute, that's not what I want to do. But if they don't understand the meaning of the products and the services that you provide, then it's just a dollar sign.
Thank you for that, Diane. Great. And please remember, if you do have any other questions, to keep using the Q&A, and we'll get those addressed as quickly as possible, if not at the end of this session. So up next, we have our immediate past president and our IFAPAC chair, John Niimeier, to give an update on what's happening with IFAPAC. John?
Thanks, Emily, and thanks, Diane, for your message. So let's go over IFAPAC really quick. So IFAPAC stands for the Insurance and Financial Advisors Political Action Committee. The way I see it, NAIFA has two major tools in their toolbox to fight advocacy issues. The first is membership, which is why we're always passionate about building membership, and Michael's going to be talking about that later. Membership dues goes to pay for a lot of things, one of which is a lot of our government relations staff back in Falls Church, and of course our lobbyists here in California. What it can't go to do is pay for political campaigns, electing officials, electing legislators, etc. So that's where the PAC comes into play here, what I call our second major tool in the toolbox. So what we're trying to do is ramp up our PAC giving as usual, so we can actually have our war chest filled to help elect those legislators that see eye to eye with the issues facing insurance agents and financial advisors. I guess the best way that someone put it to me, although it's probably blunt, he said that I'd rather be sitting at the table with the legislators than on the menu. And that is exactly what we're trying to do with IFAPAC dollars, is gain access, gain a seat at the table with these legislators. So when something big comes up, they know who supported them throughout the years, they listen to us. Some of the things that we have this year that we're trying to accomplish are a number of goals. For instance, we have a goal of $110,000 to raise this year for the PAC. Although, to be quite honest, I'd rather see us get a little bit higher than $110,000. See, NAIFA-California has a little thing called Pride here. And we came in second last year of overall PAC giving, just under Texas. We beat Florida, but I think it's time we beat Texas this year. So if we come in about 130,000 of total giving, I think we can do it. The other aspect we have is trying to ramp up our participation. How many members do we have of our NAIFA-California members actually participating, giving to the PAC? Now, it doesn't have to be difficult. You know, I'm encouraging everyone to start at $10 a month. If you can do more, great. But $10 a month is significant. If everyone just put in $10 a month, we would have a ton of money to be able to give to our legislators and get the right people elected. So if you're not giving yet, I encourage you to start at $10 a month or more. $10 a month, it's what, a few Starbucks coffees, and it's, you know, it's too hard to get Starbucks coffees right now anyways. You got to wait in line for 30 minutes to get it, right? So might as well get to the PAC. Can you give it $10 or more if you're already giving? So those are some of the things I'm trying to accomplish this year as PAC chair. Like Diane and Mark both alluded to, we had a $2 trillion stimulus bill, the CARES Act, passed a few weeks back, about last month actually. And although there's a lot of good things in it to help small business owners like ourselves, that's also going to come at a price tag down the road. So which one of our products, which one of our services will be on the chopping block? Will it be the cash value buildup in life insurance, annuities? You know, will it be the tax-free nature of Roth IRAs? I don't know. Where are they going to get those tax dollars? Our products are on the short list of those things that they like to tax. So as we've been around since 1890, we've always been there to help educate and help advocate on the behalf of advisors. I'm going to be there still to this day, but we need your help, and we need it through PAC dollars. So I think that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. I think, Emily, did you have a, oh, here we go. So NAIFA-California is actually very rich in our history of very generous donors throughout the years. We have one four-star general, our own Jan Penny, who's given over $81,000 of his money to the PAC. We have a few three-star generals, Terry Kaltenbach, Shane West, told her I can't see the next one down. I think it's Larry Lambert. But all the pictures on Zoom are actually covering it up.
Russ Smith and then Larry Lambert.
Russ Smith and Larry Lambert. Well, thank you for all those. And then our two-star generals, Bill Reagan, Carl Hansen, John Davidson, Mike Abels, Mac McManigal, Darren Mason, and I can't see the rest. Emily, if you want to.
That's
Okay.
The one for 2-star, and then the next slide has all of our 1-star generals.
So that's a long list.
Generals.
So
Sorry, that just came out. Generals, 1-star.
Was that?
I said 1-star general because I was thinking military terms, but.
But thank you to all the people who've given to the PAC over the years. It's so significant. I can't express in words how significant your PAC dollars are to our association and what it really does to help us do the work that we try to do every day to protect your business, my business, everyone's business here. So, as well as our clients' futures. All these promises we made to our clients are contingent on the laws and legislation that get created in our, at the halls of Congress and our state legislature as well. So thank you so much. We have the website up here for PAC giving. It's easier now than ever to give. You don't even really need your login ID outside of your email address. So once you go onto the Advocacy Center, which is, if you follow that website address, it'll take you there. They'll just ask you to put your email address that's associated with your NAIFA membership, and they'll ask you how much you want to give on a monthly basis or a one-time contribution. It's that easy. You can do it with a credit card, a bank draft, or if you really want to fill out an application, you can still print that application out and send a check to NAIFA National. Again, I'll leave you with this. If we can just increase each monthly contribution by $10 a month, and if you're not giving now and you can do $10 a month, that goes a long way. So please, I encourage everyone who's an NAIFA member to give at least $10 a month, and we will be in a great position to fight the legislative battles going forward that we have to fight in the next few years.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, John, for that update. And we will be giving out, as I mentioned, as Jennifer mentioned at the beginning of the call, links to all of the websites that we're mentioning here. So it'll be easy for you to just click and participate that way. Up next.
Emily, there's one more thing. Besides the $2 trillion CARES Act that was passed, we also have a major election this year as well, which we need the funds for that as well. I should have mentioned that earlier.
Absolutely. Thanks, John. And next up, we have our Grassroots, our PIC chair, Trent Bryson, to give us an update on everything related to our key contacts.
Yeah, thanks, Emily. I'm going to keep it pretty brief. I think two main points as it relates to the grassroots efforts, which is opportunity and relationships. Obviously, you've heard how important it is to have the relationships. More importantly than anything else, there's an opportunity right now. All too often, we're way too busy to spend some real time focusing on building relationships because we're trying to build our business. If you're like me, you probably have more time on your hands than you normally do because clients won't see me. And frankly, it's more efficient for me to Zoom call than it is to be on the 405. And then the second part of that is they're looking for help right now. Something as basic as our office went over and delivered, 2,000 masks to our local Senator Lena Gonzalez the other day, and building that relationship and having, the photo opportunity. And it was just one of my clients that was making them and gave it to me at cost. So for a big discount, I was able to donate that. And what a perfect way to ingratiate ourselves with not only the Senator, but also just to show what we do as an industry. I think that so much of what we've done for 130 years is show that we're more than just here to sell insurance, but the impact that we have on our communities and just what good people we frankly are. And there is, specifically around NAIFA, all the good relationships I've met and all the good things that you are due for in your community. So there's an opportunity right now. Your legislators are listening for sane minds. They probably don't want to hear about, all your complaints about how the money's being spent right now, because they're getting literally thousands of those a minute, a day. But it's a good way to reach out and say, hey, I know that things are coming up on the insurance front. I've been talking with Ricardo Lara and just saying, hey, run these things by me and be there for you. I'm lucky the fact that he lives in Long Beach. But the point is that right now is such an opportunity that we normally don't have. To build those relationships. We have some missing spots, frankly, across the state where we need some key contacts. Harder, Pelosi, Cox, Cisneros, Rada. I'm sure somebody wants to do the Pelosi one. But the reality is we need to fill these spots. We need some of those relationships there, and it's really important that we do so. So if you know of anybody it's important for you to reach out to us. We need to know, because there's times that we'll be going through this and we'll be saying, okay, this bill's coming out of this region, who knows that person? And so if you know somebody and we don't know that you know somebody, you kind of handcuff us. So if you have some relationships where you've helped somebody or somebody that's in office, please let us know. That's really important. And if you see somebody on this list that that is another NAIFA member that's not necessarily on this call, I would encourage you to say, hold on a second. I know that, Gil Mares knows this person, but I saw them on the list. So that's an easy one for Michael to say, hey, I know that my dad has a relationship with, or those types of things. So I'd encourage you to build those relationships right now. There's an opportunity that doesn't normally exist. And then there's frankly an opportunity to show all the good things that you're doing in our community. And as we go into an election year, it's going to be important. I heard the joke the other day that if oil goes much lower, that Exxon and Chevron are going to start having to lay off congressmen. So that's good for our cost of acquisition. But sorry, Diane, I had to throw that one in there. But the reality is it's a perfect opportunity for us to build our relationships, re-strengthen our organization, and to show them that we really care. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Emily. Thank you.
Thanks, Trent. And here's, I just did a screenshot, and apologies that these are my personal legislators where I live in Iowa, but that's how I had to get the screenshot. But it's really easy. Again, sign into the Advocacy Action Center. We'll give you that link to get there directly. You click My Profile, and I circled right there where it says Report Your Grassroots Connection. So super easy to get that added. So super simple. And then also, this is also another place where you can also up your PAC contributions by, if you look a little bit lower, it says update my contribution. You can click that, and that's another way to get that updated as well. And so with that, it is
Emily, before if I can go off that page, one of the things too, what it's going to pull up, and someone mentioned when you sign in, all you need is your email address. It'll sign you in. It will pull up who you are a constituent for. So if we have your home address, it's going to pull your members of Congress based on your home address. If we don't have your home address, please, please, please give it to us. That is who you're a constituent for. If you don't, it pulls your business address, which is nice to have, but the home is even more important. But if you have relationships that are outside your members of Congress, so if you're a constituent for Joni Ernst, but you know someone else, when you get to the bottom of your members on this, there's an opportunity for you to select and type in a different member of Congress. So if you went to college with someone that is a member of Congress but lives in another state, there's still an opportunity for you to tag and tell us about that relationship. So I don't want you to feel limited when you go in and see just your members of Congress. You can report relationships with others if you have them.
awesome. Thank you for that, Diane. That was helpful information. Now it's my honor to introduce NAIFA's president-elect, Tom Michel, to give us an update on what's going on with NAIFA Nation.
Good morning, and thank you, Emily. Hopefully the sound's coming through all right. Mine's breaking up a little bit, but hello, NAIFA Nation. Don't you just
Hey, Tom, we're losing you there for a second.
baseball started, the crack of the Angels, giant.
Hey, Tom.
Like all of you, we've been put on a. I'm having trouble too. So.
Hey, Tom. I muted you for a second. Your audio got pretty bad. We couldn't understand what you're saying. So we'll give your internet a second to try and catch up, and I'll unmute you. Okay, go ahead, Tom.
Any better?
Yeah, that is better right now.
God, it was really good too. Anyways. Good morning, NAIFA Nation, and I'll spare the other opening and just get into it. Even though the world's been, see, I keep saying I'm muted again. No, I think it's just an internet issue. But anyways, enough of that. Hello, Zoom. You know, the world's been put on hold, and we've had all these issues, but it doesn't mean that NAIFA's been put on hold. I think you've heard from Shari and Diane. in regards to what's going on there. And then, of course, with what John and Trent said, the world may have stopped, but our NAIFA family has not. And so I want to thank all of you, first of all, for your support. Thank you for your attendance today. And there's, their old joke, you can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. Well, we get to pick our NAIFA family, and I'm pretty proud of it over the last 60 to 90 days. What you see on your screen there are just some communication pieces. First of all, in case you didn't know it, NAIFA is entering its 14th decade of existence. Not a lot of organizations can say that, but we are celebrating our 130th year. And available to you on the NAIFA website, if you haven't received it already, is the NAIFA at 130 annual report, and some great facts and figures in there. Don't mind the couple people on the front page of the report there. Also included in there is none other than advocacy. I know we've heard about it for the last 10 minutes, but I do want to remind you that we are the largest federal PAC in the industry. We do give over $4 million. But that's if IFAPAC continues to be funded. So another plug for IFAPAC. As you'll hear in a second, as you know, the congressional conference is not occurring this year. That was a major source of revenue for IFAPAC. And so we all need everybody to step up a little bit. And while you've been out, in case you didn't know, we also have a new website, a consumer-facing website called financialsecurity.org. NAIFA has started to collaborate with other organizations, including Life Happens and ACLI, but we're also having this consumer-faced website, which has a two-pronged purpose, which is outlined there. This is to create consumer awareness about the work that we do and how we're there to help them. There's some great videos and all that. So if you haven't had a chance, I highly recommend you go check out financialsecurity.org. We're very proud of it. And I think Suzanne Caroline might touch a little bit more on the website and some of these other issues. So when all this went down, while the advocacy team was doing their efforts, the executive team of NAIFA and the board of trustees said, we've got to try and do something for our constituents and provide value. And I'm a little biased, but I think we have. The first thing we've done is put together a series of town hall meetings. And I hope you've seen some of them. Just this week, we had Joe Jordan. And in the past, we also had Tom Hegna, Wade Fowl from the college, Van Mueller. And of course, we even had Ryan Penny and Jill Judd do a couple. And these have gone over very well. On top of that, as you probably know, then we also had some special webinars that Diane Boyle helped put together in regards to the CARES Act and the Pension Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP. The PPP went so well and the CARES Act went so well, we had so many questions, we had to extend it into another webinar. And we had over 2,000 registrants and almost 1,800 attendees on a couple of these. So we do feel that we've reached out to our constituents and have tried to provide value. I'd like to make note that coming up are two great speakers. Just first of all, tomorrow, if you've never heard Scotty Brennan talk, I highly recommend it. If you're having a bad day, he'll make it a good day. If you're having a good day, he'll make it a great day. Scotty's a former recipient of the John Newton Russell Award winner. He's a Mass Mutual agent out of South Bend, Indiana, former MDRT president. And I think you'll really enjoy it. These are really very short town hall meetings, usually last no more than 45 minutes. A little update from NAIFA by Kevin McHugh, but in 45 minutes, we've received very positive replies in regards to the value. And then last but not least, put on your calendar, May 4th, David McKnight, Zero is Your Hero author. And how COVID-19 is accelerating the tax train. I think we've kind of alluded on some of that as well, but David has a way of putting it eloquently. So I highly recommend that you put the NAIFA town halls on your meeting and register and become one of the few hundred that are attending those on a regular basis. Now, up next, as I alluded to before, due to COVID-19 and all that's gone on, we had to cancel the congressional conference. For your edification, we we wanted to wait until the last minute if we could, in hopes that things would turn around. But then the hotel actually closed down due to COVID-19, so that really put the final straw into the basket. And so it really hurts us that we can't get together. As you know, 1,000 of us usually get together in May to go on the Hill, and Diane puts on an unbelievable program every year. And as I said before, we raise a lot of money for IFAPAC, and we lose that this year, in addition to losing Shari's efforts in February and March for the Day on the Hill in Sacramento. But this year, to pick up the pieces, if you will, we've decided to come out with NAIFA Impact Week. These will be 3 days of webinars, if you will, from 9 to 12 Pacific Standard Time. You see the topics there. The first one's May 19th. That's a diversity symposium. We're going to have an advisor panel with leaders in the industry talking about concepts in the diversity area and how people are growing their agencies, their companies. And I think you'll find it very, very, very informative. And there's a great keynote speaker there as well. You can click on the website and get information on all these. On the second day, May 20th, in red there, Advocacy and Action Day. And again, we're going to have a panel of corporate leaders. You're going to hear from Diane Boyle on what's going on. And you think you heard a lot from her today. Well, the world's changing pretty fast. In 3 weeks, she may have a whole new set of complete new materials to go over with you. So I think it behooves you to be there for that day as well. And last but not least, a leadership day, leading your practice in challenging times. We had this individual, Deidre Van Ness, speak on one of our town halls about 2 weeks ago, and she was phenomenal. We received rave reviews on her, but she's a specialized coach for financial advisors, and she talks about how to make emotional connections in these difficult times. And there's some other topics, but I think you'll find Leadership Day to be a great anecdote for sitting around the house, if you will. So we've picked up the pieces. We think it's going to be a great week. We call it NAIFA Impact Week, and I hope you all sign up. And again, the whopping charge for those 3 days is $0, all part of your NAIFA membership. And on top of all that, we continue our NAIFA Live series. Now, I've heard over the last couple months how a couple locals or affiliates or whatever are canceling getting together, and I understand that. But one of the beauties of NAIFA Live is that you can still get together. It may be in virtual space, whatever it may be, or you can still plan. But NAIFA Live has been a very, very popular program. Just this month, we had Bill Cates, the referral king, and he talked about his new book, Relevance in this Industry right now. And coming up on May 14th, you'll see right there, Marcus Henderson. Marcus is a great speaker. He's also one of our keynote speakers at the Performance Plus Purpose Conference, which I'll talk about in a second. But you'll see the schedule there for upcoming speakers. In June, we have Brian Haney. Brian Haney is just a whiz kid, if you will, on how to survive in the new technology world. He's got some great ideas. Simon Riley, I think you all know. He's spoken at the NAIFA-California conference a few times, and you'll see the other list of speakers there. It says my internet connection's unstable, but I'll keep on going. So please put these NAIFA Live dates on your calendar. I think it'll behoove you. And I also think for you affiliates, it's a great way to put something together, to get together and mingle and network like you have in the past, and use this as your centerpiece. And last, well, not last, but we may not have a congressional conference, and we may be losing days on the Hill, but we're not, Lord willing, we're not going to lose our Performance Plus Purpose Conference in October. Let me say it right now, all systems are go. I know there's some things that are out of my control, such as local governments and all that. But right now, we still believe and are very confident that everything will start to open up and be opened up so that we can have a very successful conference in Boston. You see the dates there, October 1st to 4th. I want to tell you, as you probably know, in my role, I serve as the conference chair, and I can't tell you how excited about the program that we have. We have 3 great keynote speakers for all 3 days on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Jason Dorsey, who's a noted author. He's been on everything from 60 Minutes to the Today Show. He talks about the millennials and how to approach Gen X, Gen Ys, etc. He's funny, he's motivating, and he's also very informative. Morris Morrison will be speaking on the second day, another inspirational speaker with a great story, rising from a not so great childhood. He's also going to be our Lily breakout speaker. I think you'll really enjoy Morris Morrison. And we close with Liz Murray. Liz Murray is the author of Homeless to Harvard, which is a true story about her life. We think it's appropriate being in the back shadows of Harvard. She grew up homeless. Her parents were both drug addicts. She turned her life around and ended up going to Harvard and having a very successful life. Very, very touching, very, very heart-moving, and I think you'll all enjoy her as well. On top of that, we have Tom Hega. We also have another NAIFA-California member, Rick Paulson, who will be speaking as one of our big idea speakers. So we have a lot to be proud of. We also get to say thanks to Jill Judd for her service on the executive committee as a past president. And in case you didn't know, Boston's a pretty good party town. I think we're going to have a damn good party. So put it on your calendar, and I look forward to going to Boston with you, and maybe we can park the cars and go over to Harvard Square. So please start to put this on your calendar, and as soon as things open up, get those reservations, and let's go paint Boston Laker purple. Oh, sorry. Anyway, last but not least, and I think you probably know this, but if you don't, we want you to give to IFAPAC, but NAIFA's always been great in the generosity business as well. Whether it was such recent events as Katrina or something that's going on now, but we have re-released or reopened our emergency relief fund. This is a fund that NAIFA members can contribute to, and then it's a relief fund so that members of NAIFA can benefit from it. The grant is basically used for unexpected medical and funeral expenses related to COVID-19. This too is available on the NAIFA website. And I know Suzanne's going to talk about it in a second about the improved NAIFA website and how you can access a lot of these items that I just talked about. I again want to close with thanking you for all you do for NAIFA. We're doing our best to continue to be at the forefront, to be the leading advocacy organization in our space. And I want you to know we're working for you every day. Thanks for all you do, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Tom. We appreciate it. Thanks for that great update on all of that information of what's going on from NAIFA Nation. I'm going to take it next and go through fairly quickly just some of the new sites that NAIFA has out there, including the new NAIFA-California website. So this just launched a couple weeks ago. You can see it's got really modern feel. It's actually based off of what we're using for NAIFA's website as well. And we've got a section on here where we can feature a member. Here we've got our one of our board members, Ted Lim, with a quote about NAIFA on there. The board page, very interactive, so you can click on each of their photos and get their contact information, learn a little bit more about them. We're also really excited that with this change, we have been able to offer a blog to NAIFA-California, and so you'll be getting some information about getting subscribed to that to receive that blog as it fits to your calendar. And so that's a very exciting thing to be rolling out so that you're not getting more emails from NAIFA, you're opting into a blog, and that at any time you can go back and check the blog for the latest information. So as Tom mentioned, we do have a new NAIFA public facing page. And so this page specifically is for prospective members, industry partners, and legislative influencers. And you can see here, you can also get access the members only section of the website by clicking that orange button for login. But I encourage all of you to go on this page, naifa.org, and start exploring. I did just do another screenshot that kind of showed some of the things that you can find within here. So here under advocacy, under federal, some different topics. Like I said, it's great for non-members as well as other decision makers or people that are just wondering what NAIFA is doing in the industry at this time. The member site, again, really has a new look and feel as well. Again, encourage you to go to it, and you access that again from going from the home page and clicking the member login. And your previous login information should work, but please feel free to give our customer service members a call if you are unable to get access. But again, just really interactive. Here, this member benefits program is a monthly program that rolls out to new members featuring different topics each month. And so these are interactive cards that you can click on so you can see something that was previously done. So on month 2, to do the screenshot, I flipped card 2. And so you can see how that is just a fun way to navigate through the site. We've got some great marketing tools. Now this is available on the leaders section of the website. So once you've signed in as a member, there is the Leader Center home. And one of the top resources that I would recommend that everybody can take a look at, you know, if you're out doing membership presentations or just talking about NAIFA in general, there's some great tools that you can have to use here, specifically related to the membership presentation. As things change, this presentation gets updated. So this is where you go to download the latest PowerPoint to make sure that you've got the most updated version that we're asking to be delivered at the local level. Again, we're giving a ton of resources to our members, as Tom alluded to with the town halls, you know, giving out that information. But there's also, we've got a whole list of resources available, websites to follow, you know, tips from anything from tips from working at home, tips from staying healthy, talking to your clients, things like that. So that is also available under the resource kits under COVID-19 resources. And as Tom alluded to, the financialsecurity.org, our new consumer-facing site, very excited to launch this. This is where we are trying to get people to come to learn about not only how to find a trusted advisor, but also if you're considering a career in the financial services industry, and some resources based on that. And you can see, you know, we're fortunate in California to really have some rock stars. And here on the career page, we've got our own Jill Judd featured. Just again, doing quick screenshots to navigate through, but I do encourage you to do this on your own as well. But, you know, we've got some pictures from members. Let's see, there's Mimie in there. Cammie is also in there. But so we're using real life pictures and just really making this a personal touch. And also on this, on the consumer facing page, we've got a ton of COVID-19 resources. I just pulled 2 of the pages that we've had, but you know, there's other links. The scams in personal security has been extremely popular. As we all know, in times of crisis, that's kind of when the poachers come out and try and scam people out of additional money. So we are actually really thrilled also that our own Joanna Deloso has recorded a video. And so on some of these COVID-19 resources here, so you would select one of the cards. Joanna's under personal finance here, but she recorded a video and we posted that up there. So if any of you have any stories that you want to share, you know, how you're dealing with the crisis, or just anything that will be beneficial for consumers, please let me or Suzanne know. We would be happy to, you know, take a 2-minute video of you, like we've got Joanna here. You can watch her video on financialsecurity.org. So a lot of great resources. Please just look around the sites. Contact me or Suzanne if you have any questions or comments or suggestions. So we're really excited to have rolled these out. And with that, I am going to turn it over to our president-elect and our conference chair, Mimie Yoon-Lee. Okay, no, you can't, no. Sorry, having some audio difficulty. Okay, let's keep going. We'll go to Michael and we'll come back. So Michael, I am going to turn it over to you, our membership chair from California.
Great, thank you, Emily. And thank you everyone who's participating. Just wanted to be brief about membership. we have been making some excellent progress this year with membership, with 67 new or returning members. So we've executed a win-back program at a national level, and just our graduated dues structure. The structure is designed in such a way that we can attract new people to NAIFA who've never been a member or are newer to the industry. Those graduated dues have been a successful way for us to attract new people. So essentially, we're trying to continue to build our voice here as a state of California. The more members we have, the more powerful our voice can become. As was alluded to by our government relations team, we need more people so that we can have a stronger voice with our legislators. So that means we need each one of you on this call to reach out to either a colleague who is a member and tell them about this great event we had today, or to reach out to someone who isn't a member to become a member today. And each one of you are part of locals or affiliates that have membership chairs. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to me as your state membership chair. We're trying to keep everyone informed with our agency presentations that are available to be done both virtually and in person once those kinds of things roll out. So as your state membership chair, I want to be a resource to everyone, to your presidents and to your membership chairs, but we all need to work together. We've got an awesome value proposition to share with potential members and to retain our current members. So many great things. NAIFA is really standing out and can be a real guiding light in this uncertain time, whether it's education and the town hall meetings that Tom spoke about, or the NAIFA Live events that are upcoming. NAIFA is the one place that has all the resources for us as advisors, and to really distinguish ourselves among our clients and show them that we are the gold standard of advisors, and it would really help them to understand, the clients especially, that we're really making a difference, whether it's because of the advocacy efforts we have in Sacramento or in Washington, D.C. We're at the table, quite literally, because we want to make sure that our clients and their benefits are not on the menu. So I wanted to share that today with regards to membership. We are trending in a positive direction, but we need more people to be involved. So my big ask today is to each one reach one. I know it's kind of a cliche to say, but in this time of change, we have a great value proposition. So Emily, that's what I'd like to share today.
Thank you, Michael. And during that time, we did get Mimie reestablished. So I'm going to go back to her slides here quickly and let you kick it off, Mimie. Oh, you're still muted.
Can not hear me?
No, there you go. There you go. You're
okay.
Good.
I'm like, what? Okay. All right. I know we're right at the 11 o'clock hour, so I will literally take maybe a minute, 60 seconds, and hopefully get the message across. So AAA, we know that we've got the applications out. June 30th was our original date. We're going to still ask you to send those in by June 30th to whatever degree you and your locals and affiliates have been able to accomplish. We want to see what you've been able to do. And we'll, as a team, and Dave Kappa is the leader of the review of those applications. So he and I have spoken, and we're looking at some creative ways to recognize all the locals and affiliates this year. So keep moving forward, and send those applications in by June 30th. And we also are going to ask you to do one other thing, which is to send us your best success story. And we're going to ask you to do that by August. And we'll send out details on this information. But what we really want is for you to brag about your local or your affiliate and what have you guys done well this year. Again, despite what's going on with COVID, it is time to shine and time to brag. So we want to hear from you so that we can recognize all of you during this very interesting time. Let's move to the next slide. All right, so empower, engage, educate. So that's our California conference. We've got our dates August 19th through the 21st. Really, we're looking at August 20th to 21st. Don't move those dates off your calendar. Keep them on there. Things are moving right now within the state. We'll communicate something very soon to you all, but don't move those dates off your calendar. Things are still proceeding, and we're really excited. And just like Tom is chairing the national meeting, I'm chairing this meeting, and I really am excited about what we can offer you guys for this year. So keep those dates on. All right, let's move on to the next power pyramid. So Suzanne, Carolyn, Justy, and Emily, and myself, we all spent some time talking about how cool is it that we've got so many great opportunities in the year. So we started this idea about this power pyramid, and the idea is that we're connected because we've got the state meeting, we've got Day on the Hill, we've got P+P, and we've got CONCON, or the Congressional Conference. Now, we know that a couple of these items didn't get to happen as they happened, but now we have Impact Week. We have this Impact Hour. So there are different ways that we can recognize this idea of this power pyramid. And what we want to see is this thread of this continuation of being engaged with NAIFA and all these great new things that are happening with NAIFA. It's an exciting time to be there. And I'm not just drinking the Kool-Aid when I say that. There's some really great things happening. And I want to make sure that we can culminate this all the way into Boston and see each other in Boston and make sure that we can recognize all you through this power pyramid. So again, more information to follow on that. I've been talking to the board. I feel like we're talking at least 2 to 3 times a week right now with just a lot of virtual communication and just making sure that we are here for you. Just like Tom said, we're here for you as a state and as a board. We really care about how we're delivering value, membership, advocacy to all of you members. So thanks for giving me a few minutes, and I'm going to hand it over to Peter.
Thanks, Mimie. Yep, if you want to bring us home.
It'd be my pleasure, and it certainly is my pleasure. Tom said something earlier, and I have to agree with that. Wow, what an incredible group of leaders that we have at both the state and the national level, whether it's our volunteers like Mark and Trent and John, some real powerhouse gentlemen running our political action side, or our newly elevated support staff with Emily Cabbage, who I need to acknowledge. Emily, you have done an incredible job as your role has expanded within NAIFA, and to have you supporting California has really shown the ability that National has to help states continue to improve. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing it in California. We're seeing it nationally as well. We heard about a lot of the things we're doing. We're still doing the advocacy. We've got Diane and Shari, McHugh, who I might say are probably the 2 best advocates we could ask for at the state and national level. They've got their eye on the ball. They're not only looking at the legislation that's coming in that can potentially hurt us, but we're looking for opportunities to engage and be part of that solution. And as Diane mentioned, she's got a 3-pronged approach, because as Mark had said, we've got a big target on our back. There's a lot of money going out, and they're going to be looking for revenue to help shore up where all these dollars are going. And again, 10 of the top 15 expenditures, federal tax expenditures, have to do with our industry. So Diane is keeping an eye on the ball for the future legislation that comes out. As she pointed out, she was talking a little bit about healthcare, the 3 areas: healthcare, retirement, and then the life insurance tax benefits that are constantly under attack. We've got some jobs that we need to do. Emily's going to send us some links and some tools that we can access. Take a look at the website. I mentioned quickly, Suzanne Caraway was not on the call, but she has been a great boon at NAIFA national level, bringing us all these improved tools and resources at the website, bringing us the NAIFA Impact Week. We've got the NAIFA website. We've got the NAIFA blog. We've got the NAIFA Live. We've got the NAIFA Family Reserve Fund. And that's where we come in as our jobs. Trent, Bryson mentioned, now's an opportunity. We have a little bit of time. Let's reach out to our legislators. Let's get on their Facebook pages. Let's get on their LinkedIn. Let's make those connections. Let's go to the national website, identify those legislators that we're missing, or maybe that you know, or somebody you know knows. And then as Michael mentioned, everyone, each one, reach one. If we can each do that, it's sort of a cliche, but it's a cliche because it works. If we can each improve our membership by 1 member each, imagine that we would immediately double the membership overnight. And as Trent also, as John Niimeier pointed out, if we can get on the website, and all you have to do is $10 a month for that PAC contribution, that's going to help increase our volume on our voice when it comes to political action. So there's a couple things we need to do. NAIFA National, I think, has done an incredible job of stepping up, and now it's our time to continue to support them and do the things that we've been asked to do. NAIFA has been around for 130 years. I've been a NAIFA member for 20 years, so not a short amount of time, and not as long as many. I can say with certainty that this is the strongest, most effective, and best NAIFA family that I've been associated with in my 20 years. And I'm very proud to have been on this call, been part of this leadership. Very, very proud to call all of you fellow NAIFA members. And I wish you and your family much health and success as we battle this virus and move on to help our clients and the community. So thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. And like I said, this will be recorded. If anybody has a couple of minutes and they want to ask any more questions, but please feel free to send your questions to us, and we'll make that available. And look for the email coming from me after the recording is available with all the links for the sources that we talked about today.
Great. Thank you, Emily. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.